round of applause for being here today. So the sense of tonight is really to have the community's input into what will be the future of Moody Street. For those who don't know, we've had a response to COVID, and we opened up the street, is how I think about it, as a pedestrianized mall. Some people call it closing down the street. But the idea is that we need to really hear, from everyone, think about assessing what worked, what didn't work. And I know that there's people here who have very strong convictions, some people who enjoyed it, who loved it, some people who didn't exactly like it. So I want to just say first and foremost that the decisions are going to be decided starting with the Traffic Commission. Their next meeting is next Thursday, March 16th at 10 a.m. Now, as my role as a Ward 9 City Councilor, I actually have some input in this matter. I've made my opinion on this loud and known. I've always gone to the commission and I try to be as respectful as I can, because this is a very complicated issue. It's not so simple, it's not black and white. And I plan on taking the feedback that I get today. That's why we're having people sign in. That's why we're recording this. By the way, it's going to be on YouTube. I hope that's okay with everyone, nothing weird. But we want to make sure that we really get this feedback, and I already asked the commission to add me to the agenda. I want to make a proposal that I think and I believe is what's best for not just the district, but also the city of Waltham. So that's my intention tonight, is to gather insight, to gather input. I certainly want to make sure here that everyone comes here to listen and learn, and of course provide your perspective. My colleagues know this, but my saying is always, I don't need you to agree with me, I need you to understand me. So I'm going to repeat that again. I don't need you to agree with me, I need you to understand me. And I hope that as a ground rule today, we're very respectful. We're going to limit folks speaking to 3 minutes, because there's a lot of people here, and we can't. I reserved this at 8 o'clock. Maybe they'll let us till 8:30, but we all have families, and some of us haven't eaten dinner. So again, I just want to make sure that we talk with a sense of our own lived experience. We listen, and we try to listen with best intentions, and maybe we can make a friend here tonight. So I want to start with recognizing some of the electeds that are in this room. I just saw Councilor Harris join us. And I also have, we have Councilor at Large Bradley MacArthur here. Anyone else that I'm missing? Any electeds? Okay. So, as I mentioned, tonight is about, maybe thinking out loud, maybe dreaming, maybe proposing, or maybe sharing grievances. It's all a fair game, but I want to just make sure, because one of my frustrations in this process was that there wasn't enough to get enough input from the entire business community on Moody Street. And I've always been kind of adamant to make sure that everyone is involved in the conversation, and some businesses here have some degree of distrust because maybe they felt they weren't involved or encouraged or allowed to participate fully in the process. So I want business people, either you're an owner or you're here to speak on behalf of someone, if you guys can make a line here on the right side, we'll give you the microphone, we'll give you guys an opportunity to speak first, and then we will allow the community to have some input. I just want to make sure that at least in this meeting we're prioritizing also the voice of business owners, regardless of whatever kind of business you're in. And that's for Moody Street businesses, so let me qualify that. So we'll get started. Again, my name is Jonathan Bass, Ward 9 Councilor, and I'm just deeply grateful for everyone who's here. And Councilor at Large Bradley MacArthur will be taking 3 minutes. Yeah, so again, the Traffic Commission meeting where I will be proposing at least something on my behalf is, welcome Councilor Garza. The Traffic Commission meeting will be March 16th. It's a Thursday, and it'll be at 10 a.m. at City Hall. So you're all welcome to also tune in. And that's where we'll see what can be the future for this. And it's my understanding also that the mayor will have a proposal then. So without further ado, I'm going to give up the microphone. Carrie, you want to jump in first? Sure. All right, give her a round of applause, y'all.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Carrie Spriggs, and I own Howard Photo Studio on Moody Street. I've been there 40 years yesterday. As a business owner, I don't feel that the need to shut down Moody Street again. When it first started with the COVID restrictions, no one was notified. We drove to work that morning, found orange paint on the street, and we were told the street was closing. I don't even think the restaurants knew what was going on. We were baffled by it. But what we decided to do is, as a group, we talked to the other business owners of the restaurants, and we agreed with them that it was going to be difficult for them. And we wanted to make sure that, as all business owners, we helped each other. So the one problem I had was when the restaurants don't open, most of them till 5 o'clock. And a lot of the small businesses close at 5 o'clock. So we were lost out on parking on the street. As my business, I have people with families, I have elderly people that come in, and they like to park in front of my business, especially the ones with babies. And I have a family with 4 kids, and I had to go out because they did eventually open Walnut to Chestnut Street. So, sure.
Closer to the
Thank you. Okay, so I would go outside and stand there to hold the parking space for my family or my clients coming in. The other thing I noticed was trucks trying to get up and down the street. They couldn't do it. Chestnut Street is sincerely, should only be a one-way street. Right now, it's a two-way street. We had an 18-wheeler come down there last year, and the mayor can attest to this because she saw it happen. She was out in front. I didn't take pictures. We should have. But the truck couldn't get around from Chestnut Street to Moody Street. They had to bring in and move the Jersey barriers and then get the truck down the street. It's not the truck driver's fault. They're probably following their GPSs. There's also a really severe problem in front of my studio with cars making illegal U-turns because it's only one block that was open. I've had cars come up on the sidewalk. I'm waiting for one to come through the front window. It's not something that I feel. They took away the no U-turn signs out in front of the studio. I've been to the traffic commission and trying to get them put back in. Some parts of me feel that this meeting is kind of futile because you're going to make your decision anyway as far as what's going on. And I didn't get to the rest of my points, but I'm going to give them to Councilor Powell.
Hi, my name is Bob Brennan. I'm here representing Mr. Sweetbread at 443 Moody Street. Just to kind of reiterate some of the points that Kerry was making, I'm on the corner of Moody and Chestnut. Deliveries are a hassle, 18-wheelers, they just becomes, a bottleneck. And then I have customers, we're a repair shop, so not too many repair shops left like us, but people bring vacuum cleaners and sewing machines, and when you can't find parking, people come in the store a little bit upset, with us because they want to work the situation. As Terry also said, a lot of the restaurants, which I'm open to, trying to work with, but if they don't open until 5, 6 o'clock, and then we're running businesses from 9 to 5, 6 o'clock, just seems the street closure doesn't make all that much sense. Also, with the Jersey barriers leaving the restaurant seating, it still gives them seating with enough room to at least have a one-way. But we do just have a lot of people coming in, calling, a little bit upset, the GPS doesn't know where to go. The parking lots have increased in payments as well. We've also lost all the parking on Moody Street. Moody Street is a very high traffic area, so I would like to be there. Our fathers had the store there for 40 years. We've been, a staple of Moody Street for a long time, and it is negatively impacting our business. So that's just kind of where we're, our standpoint, and that's just our family's feelings about it.
Would anyone else like to speak on behalf of business? We can start a line. I think that'll be helpful so we can get this rolling. So. You want to jump in? You can wait there.
I'll wait.
Line started?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm saying next timer. So, my name is Fernando, I also live at a restaurant on Moody Street. We benefit tremendously from the street closures, but I do acknowledge that it is difficult for the city and for the other merchants. It's also difficult for the restaurants. It's a tremendous effort to set up 60 or 80 or 90 seats outside every day. So, while I would like to have outdoor seating, I am very open to some type of compromise because May is too early, October 31st is too late, 6 months is too long, and like the other shopkeepers are saying, the restaurants don't open until 5. And the street's kind of a desert, except for delinquent kids running around on their bikes. So I'm open to some type of compromise where the restaurants get some space on the street, the sidewalks are gorgeous now, they're nice and wide, they're newly bricked, that would work for us. My only concern is that traffic is heavy on Moody Street. And I, as a guest, do not want to sit on the street with a car barreling down the street next to me, smelling their exhaust. So, there's got to be some mitigation of how quick the traffic goes down the street. And I also want to thank Cultural Plaza for putting the meeting together, and I know this is a big deal for the city of Waltham because they work really hard to try to get everything fixed. And, life still sucks, so, we just gotta get through it.
Hi guys, my name's Jamie York. I own Game Underground on Moody Street. We are a video game store. We also have places people can come and play there. There's a few things about this that I want to point out. Number one, I feel as though if you're there at nighttime, having the street block off has been amazing. It makes Moody Street have an upscale feel. It feels more like Disney Springs or Faneuil Hall with people all out on the street having fun, families getting ice cream together at Lizzie's, enjoying the time on the street. I feel like bringing my kids there, they're safe outside. I've tried to run a couple events outside in front of our store, and it's got a whole bunch of people that are not our usual customers' attention and come around, and we want to do some bigger things. We also set up a table where we have Pokemon cards and things like that, and families would come over and really enjoyed that. I think when they announced this originally, I wasn't sure how I felt. I was kind of staying out of it, but it's been a really benefit for my business to be like this. And I also see everybody, I didn't even want to speak on it because I didn't want other businesses that are, having a hard time with it to have to deal with that. I feel for that a lot. But for us, it's been good. I think that it might be good to have a couple compromises. One is I do agree it doesn't need to be as long as they've been doing. If we did June through August, that would be all the time kids are out of school, have nice summer events, it gets a little cold. That cuts 3 of the months out that people seem to have a problem with. If there was any possible way to cut off the street just at night or just Friday night through Sunday evening, I think that would be huge. Councilor LeBlanc said there may be a possibility of other cities that have something that comes out of the ground and goes back, or I was thinking even just like a gate that someone can pull across that's safe for everybody. That way the businesses don't get impacted during the day. We can have a wonderful weekend every weekend. I think that would be a huge compromise. It might be a little more work, but it's not going to impact our friends with businesses that don't want the street closed. They got Moody Street because they wanted to to be good for their business as well. So, I think that's just the biggest thing is, we love it. I cannot even explain to you, the feel and atmosphere at night on the weekend there is incredible. We want other towns to want to come visit Waltham and spend their money here. I have people that come for my business from all over New England because I have events, the best players in the world come here. And they all love being able to go outside, have an ice cream, hang outside, be in the street. I think that it's a big draw for Moody Street and for Waltham. And it's going to make us the difference between just being another city and being one of the top cities in New England to visit if you're coming out to have a nice time, like you say in Vermont or Cape Cod. Thank you so much.
Anyone else that's a business owner that would like to speak? I thought I saw Aaron somewhere. I don't want to call people out. Welcome, sir. See, you made it. You're well, sir.
Hi, my name is Harry. I own the dollar store, intersection of Gordon Street and Moody Street. For me, to close and not to close is a secondary issue. The decision is going to be based on whatever the traffic commission or what have you. It should be based on votes. We vote for everything in America. Vote for this, vote for that. So business owners should be the ones deciding if they're okay with closing or not closing. Every business or restaurant should be one vote, and it should be decided based on that. Hey, if majority of us want it closed, close. For me also, my customers, it's a big problem getting. Luckily, we have parking behind the store. We have 8 or 10 spots. Some of the people who, over the years, after coming in for 3 years, they know now, so they can get around. But new people, no, absolutely not. And for me, to get to the store, we have to go all the way, High Street, cut across Gold Street, make that big U-turn. So instead of holding my ear like this, I'm like trying to hold it like this. Right? And I feel Moody Street is like an artery, right? Just like your heart. And if you block that artery, it causes issues, other issues. So we need to have some sort of thing going, like you said. Either the weekend is fine, some compromise, like the Games on the Ground guy, I forget your name, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so something like that would be, I would say, amenable to doing versus shutting it down for 6 months. That's really ridiculous. I don't know if anybody kept track of last year, how many times it rained or bad weather and nobody could use the street at all for anything. So what about those times? You know? So keeping that in mind, I hope to be at the meeting on 13 or 14 for the traffic commission to speak there. Come with a bigger list of things to speak about. So let's hope something comes up.
Any other business owners here who would like to speak?
Hi guys, I'm sorry my English is not very good, but I speak clearly. My name is Marvin Villar. I'm going to Compare Barbershop 340 Moody Street and Primo Barbershop 398 Moody Street. So I'm tired of that. I know everybody happy. The restaurant people only making money. My business is good money. It's good business. Every year making good money. When the Moody Street is closed, my business goes down like 90%. I'm not lying. My business is lying because I'm there for 5, 6 years. So, 5 months is too much. When the Moody Street is closed, it's too many times. I say you don't want to close because I want to talk about the traffic commission. I think last time I said, this guy, he's selling the paper to somebody. I don't know why he knows what's my business. Nobody told me for this meeting today. This guy, he told me. So I don't know why. Because my business is very important in water. Every time I go my business, the main street is happy. Because I gotta go to the main street. A lot of parking, everything. So my client do it to me high time, anytime. Oh, you know about parking, you know about parking. Come on. Everybody have to make money. So I say, I don't want to close, but I want to see the meeting commission again. But I'm tired of that. The COVID is over. So it's time with the people making money. Thank you. Sorry for my anger.
Just for the record, other businesses sent me emails, some people couldn't make it tonight. Any other business owners here that would like to speak?
I just want to know how come you don't ask landlords? How come it's...
As a landlord, would you like to speak on the community side?
Okay.
You're welcome to.
How come landlords are not notified?
You're welcome to speak.
I'm going to speak later.
Okay. What was your name?
Steve.
Steve, thanks for being here. I see some business owners. I'm just curious if you guys want to speak before we allow the community to share. All right, we can start the second part of this town hall and have community members speak. And I hope that we keep it respectful, but also we continue to give people some support. Public speaking is not exactly everyone's forte. So feel free to make a line here, and we'll give you guys an opportunity. Oh, we got plenty of people who want to speak. It's like a middle school dance, y'all. Like, you just gotta get up. All right, Tom, you have the mic.
Can people hear me fine with the mask? Okay, awesome. Yeah, so first, thank you so much for the public input session. It's always nice to have a chance to speak to our elected officials. Next, I love Moody Street. I love it when it's open to pedestrians. I think it's wonderful. I'm always on Moody Street for a select few places that I always go, which is just like a couple of restaurants and Game Underground. But whenever Moody Street is closed down to cars and open to pedestrians, it's really when I actually have the time to wander from store to store. Now, I don't think I've been to, where are the ones? I don't think I've been to the comic store or the thrift store or the dollar store since October. Like, those are places that I never really go to Moody Street for the purpose of, but anytime, I'm just wandering around because it's a pleasant place to be, that's when I tend to dip into those other stores I don't know ones I go to. But the main thing is, like, I love Moody Street. I think it's fantastic, and it's fantastic in spite of how little effort the city puts into it. Like, it's literally just like cinder blocks at either end, and that's all the city does. The rest of the effort seems to be on the business's end. Which is funny because it's so wonderful, with so, like, little effort. Like, there's no infrastructure changes or anything, and I think it could be a lot greater if Waltham did some long-term investments, like installing bollards, and public sitting spaces, installing tree cover, to make it overall a more pleasant experience. Like, I think, like, it's great already at just the bare minimum. I think it'd be so much greater if the city actually invested in it through infrastructure changes. But that kind of progress is impossible when it's like closed half the year. I personally would love it if it was closed year round. And that also ties into part of accessibility, where Waltham, on the whole citywide, is really terrible about maintaining safe and accessible pedestrian infrastructure. I've seen people with strollers and people in wheelchairs like walking around or rolling around in the car lane because the sidewalks are too poorly maintained. And this is citywide, and that's not even in bad weather. That's in like a sunny September day. Moody Street is the one exception. Moody Street is the one place where it is pleasant and safe to walk around as a pedestrian, and I think the city should be doubling down on that, not retreating to one place that is safe and consistently a nice place to be outside of the car. Yeah, and the nice thing about it being closed on cars as well is that the pedestrian any pedestrian infrastructure gains would be much more of an investment instead of liability, because cars aren't consistently destroying the roads as soon as they're being created. You know, it's more of a long-term thing. Do it once and it's lasting forever and it's beautiful. And another important thing to say is that, you know, all of these places, you know, Moody Street's still surrounded by parking lots. I don't think any of the businesses mentioned today are more than like 100 feet from a parking lot. Like, the important thing isn't that it's not close to car infrastructure. The important thing is that the roads are so bad that it's sort of very difficult to get from the parking lot just that 100 feet to the store. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Daniel Sorry. I live at 40 Popliana. Last summer, a group of people, including myself, collected signatures for a petition to the mayor about Moody Street. We asked her to start a process with input from the public to discuss making Moody Street a permanent fixture of the city. We collected about 450 signatures and had good conversations with nearly everyone who signed. Mayor McCarthy refused to respond to our repeated attempts to meet with her and discuss the petition and our findings. I thank you, Councillor Pass, for hosting this meeting today and inviting the public to have input in how our city is run. I was collecting signatures as part of the Green New Deal Coalition. We wanted to highlight the environmental benefits of walkable spaces and show people how Moody Street was a template for how life could be if our car-centered transportation infrastructure was replaced with people-focused walkable spaces. We developed a pitch about replacing personal automobiles with public transportation and pedestrian infrastructure would not only benefit the planet, but make all of our lives better. We almost never had to deliver this pitch. When I approached people for signatures, I was truly struck by how many people clearly already understood everything that Moody Street Market represented about how our world could be better. People often gushed thank yous to me the moment they realized what I was there to do and rushed to sign. They spoke about what a pleasant place Moody Street had become. They talked about how they wished more places existed like Moody Street and how they appreciated not having to share their public spaces with cars. It surprised people that Moody Street Market was not already a permanent program. What really jumped out to me was the effect Moody Street Market has on families. Children ran around freely, learning to bike or playing with toys right in the ground as they spoke to their caregivers. Parents were thrilled at being able to visit the shops without keeping an eagle eye on their kids around rushing traffic. Neighbors spontaneously stopped and talked with one another on the road, something I had never seen on the narrow sidewalks before Moody Street Market. It basically became a public park, something the South Side desperately needs. I have one more anecdote about how amazing Moody Street Market already is. Last year, I was collecting signatures on the day of the 4th of July fireworks. When I started talking to folks, I realized something amazing. Many folks were completely unaware that there was a fireworks display being prepared just a block down the road. Despite the crowd on the bridge, many were there for the shops and to enjoy an evening stroll. All the activity of the fireworks is seamlessly blended into the festive environment of Moody Street. Opening the street to foot traffic has been a complete and utter success that made 4th of July pale in comparison. We need to replicate the success of Church Street in Burlington, Vermont by making Moody Street Market a year-round public plaza with programming for all seasons. This kind of thing brings life into a city and community into a city. We can't surrender it for a shortcut for a few motorists. We have enough roads in this city. Let's have a place for people.
Hi, my name is Gary Markowitz. I live in Ward 9, and Moody Street is just 2 blocks away from us. I have a very long speech here, which I'll just give to Jonathan at the end here, but I just want to reach some of the high points here. We've been here for almost 3 years, and walking up and down Taylor Street, Moody Street, Chestnut, Gordon, it's a trash heaven. There's small plastic bottles, otherwise known as nip bottles. About every 3 feet you'll see one. And sometimes you'll see 2 or 3. Broken glass, half-eaten meals left in the middle of the street for the rats to eat on. It's disgusting. Moody Street is a beautiful place. It has so much potential. 200 Moody Street is an high school. Why hasn't the mayor moved on improving that site? That's, we need her to approve the plan to restore that site. And I believe there's a plan for a hotel and retail space there. I believe that's going to be a good, and a park, by the way. There's also going to be a park there. I hope that we get some support on that from the community. But to meet retailers' concerns, make parking lots free for retail shoppers during these periods where the street is closed. And closures can be at 5 o'clock and after. And yes, it can be done, and it's been done before. Newbury Street does it with just police barriers, not Jersey barriers. So it can be done, just with the steel barriers. We also hope that when they do close the street, that there is enforcement of litter laws. The anti-litter laws need to be enforced. The bicycling with the, somebody called them juveniles, but these are the folks that, the kids that go up and down the street doing wheelies, spinning around, and coming close to pedestrians. And at some point, they actually fall down in front of pedestrians. At least, you know, we're agile enough to get out of their way. But some people aren't. And there should be some enforcement on no bicycles in this zone. It's for pedestrians on foot. And don't get me started on the electric unicycle guy who rides up and down the street at 30 miles an hour. But we really want to have... Am I done? Anyways, I just want to just wrap up and say thank you, Jonathan, for putting this meeting together.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm John. I live in 269 Charles Street. Firstly, I just want to thank everybody for coming. This is really important to a lot of people. I find this to be an amazing opportunity for the city. Too often do we prioritize cars over people. I think it was said best when Jamie, was it? Was talking about how this attracted people from all over to our city. It can be an amazing economic opportunity to attract new people to businesses, new opportunities for investment, and provide a great space for really everybody to enjoy. I hear a lot of issues, and I definitely recognize that. As a new resident to the city, I don't want to undercut those, but even things like I hear about parking, I do struggle to understand that perspective because there's so much ample parking behind businesses. Even like the suggestion of having the parking become free when there's closures, I think is an excellent idea. I know probably generating revenue from the city, but I would be surprised if the economic opportunity given to the city from the added patrons coming from out of town don't make up for those losses. We have an ample opportunity to provide the best of both worlds. I often try to bring people from, I have friends in the city, I have friends from all over. Waltham's a great meeting hub because it falls in a place where we have walkable environments, but we still are accessible by cars, and if you're brave enough to take the commuter rail, you can get there too. But we have an awesome opportunity ahead of us to really transform this space and really embrace something new. And I don't know, I think it's worth pursuing. So, thank you.
Good evening, thank you for having this public input. I just want to address this from more from a data point of view. So I've seen and heard a lot of anecdotes about the opening of Moody Street to pedestrians. We've been hearing some great ones tonight for and against. But it feels like a tremendous opportunity to use data to help shed light on what's actually occurring rather than just anecdotal impressions. So we've had this going on for 3 years, but I don't know that there's been any surveying at all of sales data collected from different kinds of businesses. Have there been any intercept surveys asking people what brought them to the street or how they got here, whether it was by foot or car or bike? How much time and money people are spending when Moody Street is open versus when it's closed? Is there an impact on people with differing physical abilities to access Moody Street? Is there data about public safety that can also be referenced, like impact on crime rates, accidents on neighboring streets, or on emergency vehicle access, right? So this is all information that we could collect and actually use to make better decisions going forward. I have my own opinions about Moody Street. I love it. I spent a lot of money there last year because I never knew that there was a mattress firm. And I went to Barson Rug and then told somebody else to go to Barson Rug. So my husband and I were talking about, like, we dropped some serious dough on Moody Street last year. So I really, really like it, but I'm also somebody who believes that public input's important, anecdotes are great, but some real hard data behind it would be really important. There are people around here who know how to do this. They've offered to help in the past, but it has not been taken advantage of. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Matthew, and I am a 4th grade student at Dual Language School on Moody Street. I want to say that I really enjoyed Moody Street when Moody Street was closed for the past 3 summers. It was great to be able to walk up and down the street and not worry about traffic. I especially loved outdoor dining with my family, and I could run around outside on the street after I was done eating. Well, the adults sit around and talk. I also enjoy the fresh air that most restaurants can't offer while Moody Street is open to traffic. I see a lot of my friends on Moody Street too. Another huge plus of closing Moody Street is that I can ride my bike on Moody Street without worrying about getting hit by cars. Even every Thursday after school, I have honors whisper rehearsal at Kennedy Middle School. My mom rides with me from Dual Language to Kennedy, and I can tell you that when Moody Street is closed, it is much safer to ride on than Lexington Street.
Things to add. I'm Matthew's mom. Thank you, Councilor Pass, for having this. We have very strong feelings about opening Moody Street to pedestrian traffic, but I also really open my eyes hearing the business owners to hear from you how it's been affecting you. I would love it to be open to pedestrian year long, but after hearing you, I'm happy to have some kind of compromise. It doesn't have to be closed or open. Maybe, this is a way to come up with a plan for it that we can have a little bit of both. We do definitely enjoy, having dinners outside and not worry about him being bored and disturbing other people. We do ride on bikes, and he's not quite delinquent yet. Hopefully he won't be. And the fact that the Moody Street is right on the bike path, we ride our bikes on the bike path to Moody Street, and then there's less traffic. I don't take up a parking spot. We do that all summer long. And what I would love to see is actually more bike parking up and down Moody Street so that, bikes to, the post or, blocking half of the sidewalk because there's no place to park our bikes. So thank you for having this opportunity for everyone to voice their thoughts.
Hammer, we live behind the Adams Street on the south side. I'm here tonight on behalf of Earth and Mass Waltham. We're a group that advocates for safe cycling and pedestrian infrastructure. We'd like to voice our fullest support for, at the very least, continuing the opening of Moody Street to pedestrians. Over the last couple of years, we've gone to Moody Street, you'll see families doing those outside, you'll see kids playing in the street, where, frankly, on the south side, that's not usually an option for them. This week, Cambridge City Council voted to continue shutting down, Memorial Drive, which is one of the busiest streets in the Boston Metro. Boston is continuously shutting down more and more streets on both a temporary, permanent, and seasonal basis. Newton has put in tons of bike lanes, pedestrianized tons of their places. All around us, cities are continuing to develop and put their people first to make it a nicer place to live for the people that live there. And we are continuing to fall behind. We're here tonight debating whether we should be doing the only thing that Waltham has done in the last 3 years for the pedestrians that have been cars. What really disappoints me the most about this conversation is the timing. Waltham is developing a concerning habit of moving everything until the last moment. A college freshman, the mayor waited until the last day to fill out and submit a housing document, leaving $300,000 in money in the balance for our housing. The city council waited until December to pass a shoveling ordinance for snow, and if you walk around the south side, you'll know that it's not effective, it's not working, it doesn't do anything. And everything that's been facing towards pedestrianization or cycling safely in the city for the last year has been pushed to the master plan committee, who of course has not had a public meeting to address any of those things pushed to them. This city is continuing to put things off and continuing to not advance. And here we are with under 2 months until when we normally open Moody Street, if we were moving that direction, and we're just now having this conversation. We're just now being informed that the mayor maybe doesn't have the ability to do this, or maybe she has a plan, but we don't know what that plan is yet. It's kind of ridiculous, and we want the city to look forward, develop a city that's for the people that live here, for the community, and actually communicate with the residents. Thank you.
How you doing? You guys doing all right? My name's Emily Superior. I live at 308 Lake Street. Hey, Jamie. Jamie used to be my neighbor. They used to live right behind the business, which was awesome. So I got to know them a little bit. And they were awesome. And also I bought my sewing machine. It was super. So big fan. And may not be able to get this mic stand up, but I don't want to see you go. So that's gonna happen. So here's the deal. Here's my deal. Got a lot of deals. I don't want my favorite businesses, or of course, we're all partial. I don't want my favorite businesses to leave Moody Street of course. But here's what I want to see, and based on talking to other people, I think we could really use some more data. I agree with that sentiment, to see if what I want, we all want to see if what we all want is aligned with what other people want, right? So I agree that we could use some more data. So here's what I think. I'm gonna take this mic out of here. All right. I would like to see City Council draft and vote on a resolution to explore making Moody Street a pedestrian plaza year-round from Pine/Crescent Street to Maple/High Street with no car cut-throughs. I would like City Council to draft and vote on a resolution to explore this possibility, which would include further surveying of all these businesses, all of our favorite businesses. I don't want to have to take my sewing machine to anywhere else. I promise, I like going to Mr. Super. You know about my sewing machine. You don't make fun of me when I come in and have no idea what I'm doing. You never have. Jamie, you don't make fun of me when I have no idea about video games and go in and do whatever I do in there anyways. I don't want any of that to go away. And also, as much as I don't ever want to drive a car again, I actually don't hate them. I used to go to car shows with my Uncle Rick all the time. I still love going to hot rod shows. So I kind of love what's going on here tonight, which is, I feel like, end of the day, we all love Moody Street and kind of want to get somewhere new together, and I'd like to do that. I'd just like to say yes to moving forward in that direction. So thanks for being here. Thank you to Councilor Paz and Councilor Colin Bradley and Garden for hosting tonight.
name's Nick Hammond. I live at 210 Lake Street. I used to live right off Walnut Street. I was right within walking distance to Lizzie's Ice Cream. I love living off Moody Street. Now I live on the north side of the city, so I have to drive down here. But I will say that since 3 years ago when Moody Street started being a pedestrian plaza, and it was due to COVID, which was horrible, but that was a positive thing to come out of that, in my opinion, in my experience. Visiting Moody Street has been so much improved since I can walk on the street without worrying about like parallel parking on Moody Street. I don't have to. I just park on one of the lots. I always find a space pretty easily. I don't have to worry about getting run over by a car. I am more likely to shop at the businesses, especially at the restaurants, now that we have outdoor seating, which I think is awesome. And I also think that I really appreciate this opportunity to give public input. I've learned a lot today. So I think my ask is that we, for next year at the very least, continue to have Moody Street as a pedestrian plaza. I think it's been great. But I also echo what some other people have said about exploring the possibility of investing more in Moody Street to make it, to improve things and to address a lot of the concerns. So when I first heard that we might lose the pedestrian plaza, I was super upset. But coming here, I learned about some of the concerns I didn't realize before I didn't know about. So I appreciate the opportunity to learn about that, and I would like the city to actually I want to echo what Emily just said, actually, to maybe like, I don't know what the terminology is, but to like open a committee or a commission or whatever to explore the idea of planning and also of using data. I didn't catch your name, but the person who brought up collecting data, I think that's awesome. I'm a scientist. I love data-driven decisions based on like, instead of going by like vibes or anecdotes. So I really think that we have an opportunity here to make Moody Street work for everybody, and continue what we have and improve on it even more. I would especially like to see like investment in like infrastructure for pedestrians, bikes, and also like shade, tree cover would be great. The south side is missing a lot of that. Yeah, I just want to comment on that. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.
And I'm pulling Emily. Hi, my name is Emma Zumis. I live at 32 Cutter Street, which is also South Side. And thank you to Councilor Cross for giving us the opportunity to speak here tonight. As many other people have said, I have learned a lot from listening to all the different people who have spoken tonight, both business owners and residents. I am here in support of a fully pedestrian Moody Street. We've lived in the city for about a year and a half, and it is one of the things that brought us to move to Waltham. It is renowned, it is special, it sets us apart from other cities, from other neighborhoods, and as a lot of folks have been talking about, it would be great to find a way to keep it as part of what makes us special and find a way to move it forward. We've heard a lot from tonight from different residents about the things they love about it, and I echo pretty much all of those. In particular, I'm a parent of two young, very active children, one of whom is in the back there, and as a parent, I cannot stress how amazing it is to have an open space to let your children be free and not have to always be telling them no and watch out for the car and watch out for this, that, and the other. It's liberating in all senses of the word. But most of what I'd like to talk about tonight is with my public health professional hat on. So in public health, we have a concept that's called the social determinants of health. And this is really a framework for thinking about the non-medical parts of our lives and our environment that shape our health, our quality of life, and our well-being. In particular, there are two that resonate with me when I think about pedestrian Moody Street. The first being neighborhood and built environment, and the second being our social and community connections. And both of those are strengthened and reinforced when I think about pedestrian Moody Street. So as other people have said, I'm also a Ward 9 resident, and we do not have cul-de-sacs in the south side. We don't have many open spaces, and so pedestrian Moody Street is one of our open spaces that we as families, in particular of young children, rely on. So when it is pedestrian, right? Sorry, I printed this and my printer is running out of ink. When we think about our neighborhood and our built environment, we have cleaner air, right, with the lack of cars driving on Moody Street. We have reduced environmental toxins that go into our groundwater when we think about lack of cars or fewer cars on Moody Street. And the noise pollution, right, from cars is reduced. And so all of those things contribute to improved public health, not just for a segment of the population, but for everybody. The other part about pedestrian Moody Street is that it builds community and strengthens social ties. How many times did I go to Moody Street, even as a new resident, and ran into a kid from school, right, my kid's friend, or a neighbor, and was able to stop and have a conversation. And so, as many people have mentioned, there are some issues that have to be worked out, and I would challenge us all to think of those as policy decisions, not as failures of pedestrian Moody Street, and that is up to our elected officials to move on those and make those work for everybody, business owners and residents. Thank you.
And what was your name again?
Emma?
Thank you, Emma. Just a friendly reminder, I'm seeing a lot of new faces, people walking in. Just if you guys can make sure to sign in on the sheet over there, y'all are more than welcome to also speak. Thank you. Welcome, Saul.
Hi, my name is Saul Blumenthal, I live on Rocky Street, also on the south side of Route 8. Hi, not New Year. Okay, so I'm going to also reiterate what Emma was talking about as a parent of a 5-year-old, rambunctious 5-year-old. His favorite store is Outer Limits, as he calls it, the superhero store, the comic book store. So we often walk on Moody Street. Okay, we walk to the library on Saturday mornings, and I think any parent can understand the feeling as your kid is walking far ahead, like that sense of dread as they get close to an intersection, like is a car whose driver is not paying attention, is going to dart out at that time, okay? And a pedestrianized Moody Street is a pretty rare opportunity in a city. We are a city, okay? Mist Room is 4 miles from Oak Square in Brighton, okay? So we're not some, like we call it, little town. Waltham is a sizable city in the Boston metropolitan area. So a pedestrianized Moody Street is an opportunity for a kid to be a kid, to experience his city, to see storefronts, to roam around, to see what is around him or her, without the parent having to hover over and be constantly on the lookout. Is a distracted driver going to dart out? Is someone who's parking their car and not going to parallel parking going to jump the curb? Just look at the Waltham Channel Facebook page every other week about incidents of drivers hitting poles, crashing into buildings, crashing into each other. So cars and little kids do not go along, do not play together well. And pedestrianized Moody Street, even if it's only 6 months of the year, is a rare opportunity in a city of our size for families to be able to better experience their city. As many of the business owners have spoken about, there are challenges, and I acknowledge that. But the reality is that even today, Moody Street is open to cars. It has been since the end of October. Moody Street is a challenging environment if you are mobility impaired. Even when cars are allowed on it, between sidewalks that are uneven, sidewalks that are narrow and blocked, snow that is often not cleared or unevenly cleared. As someone else mentioned, trash littering the sidewalks. So even with cars allowed on Moody Street, okay, there are challenges to mobility. So it's not that shutting cars out of Moody Street is suddenly the cause of problems, okay? There are issues that we need to address regardless of whether or not cars are allowed on the street. So, thank you.
So first, thank you, Counselor, for hosting this meeting. My name is Heather. I moved to Waltham last summer as a first-year student at Brandeis University in one of the graduate programs. And I have to say that one thing that, as a kind of snobby native New Yorker who loves walkable cities, one thing that got me so excited was seeing the pedestrian plaza, and I'm like, yes, I picked the right place to live, this is perfect. Whereas most people in my program chose not to live in Waltham because they, quote unquote, didn't see much going on there. You know, it wasn't Cambridge, it wasn't places that they thought, you know, had the nightlife or really any coffee shops to go and just sit at, you know, outside in the afternoon. So I felt, you know what, okay, I picked right. And then it was reopened for traffic, and I just felt like things really changed, whereas, I could just invite a friend to go and walk around Moody Street, and, explore stores and shops and food places that we just hadn't been to yet. There just wasn't the same atmosphere that so many people have spoken about, where you can just go and explore. And I think that's been really disheartening. And I'll say there are a lot of international students especially who live in Waltham, and they don't have a car. That's just not something that they have the luxury to own. And there are people who are really excited to get involved in the neighborhood and to learn what it's like. And I think that if we gave them more opportunities through, downtown areas that were walkable, that could be a really great source of untapped revenue for our local businesses, because I understand, and it's very sad to hear that a lot of businesses have been impacted by this, but I really think that not closing down Moody Street isn't the solution to that. I think maybe we just have to do better in terms of our partnerships for, saying, hey, we have this great thing going on. Like, how can we get more people through your door for businesses that are struggling? I really hope that we can find a solution that works for everybody and that still enables Moody Street to be open at least some of the time, if not all the time. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex and I live at 27 Pine Street in Waltham. And I think one thing that a lot of us agree on is that Moody Street, when it's closed to cars and pedestrian friendly, is really a destination. There's a couple cool grocery stores, amazing restaurants, a cool coffee shop, we discovered the Frugal Framer. There's a kayaking location right on the river. It's like a very unique confluence of our bus depot, we've got transit, we've got bike path that leads right to Moody Street from neighboring towns. Friends who I would have expected had never really been to Waltham or come to Waltham before, they're like, oh yeah, I know about Moody Street, I come there and I go eat at restaurants all the time. It seems like we accidentally stumbled on this really cool thing during COVID and haven't quite figured out how to use it to its maximum potential, or exploit it in any way. For instance, there's a lot of trash on the street, as people have noted, and I think with some basic sanitation or effort there, it could be we could attract people to come back. Oh, that was a cool place, and it was really clean and nice. Let's come back and enjoy more time there. Or also kind of thinking about just basic public safety with some of the bike stuff. I think that's another area. Maybe even advertising that the fact that the street is closed, or helping local businesses promote themselves in neighboring towns or on social media. That could be something that brings people to the city. So I guess I just want to close this out by saying that we live right across from the Embassy Theater, or the former Embassy Theater. And every time we walk out our door, it's a pretty poignant reminder that if Waltham doesn't, take effort or spend the time or money or effort to get people to come to Waltham and spend time and money on Moody Street, that I don't know. I think maybe the rest of it could be, kind of going in the same direction. So anyway, I think that we should kind of come together and figure out how to make this thing great. And yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Emma Howard. I live at a couple different places in Waltham, currently at 214 School Street. One of the reasons every time I have to move again, I look at a rental prices and I stick around here is because it isn't just another empty suburb of Boston where you have a bunch of residential houses and people go in and do interesting things in the city and come back and go to sleep. I really love the fact that Waltham has its own community, its own sense of identity. And closing of Moody Street has been one of the best places for me to be involved in that and to get to see the effects of everything that is going on in Waltham. I'm so much more likely to go down the Moody Street than I ever was when it's open, in part because I am the person who's really bad at parallel parking. I have never once been able to park on Moody Street. I don't ever presume to be able to when I'm going down. But I'm also from, my hometown has had a street that's been full-time closed to cars since 1974, and it's had a lot of the same issues early on that Moody Street is having now. So I do encourage, as the Traffic Commission looked through, as all of our elected officials look through, to look to the other cities in the area, to look to the cities around the country that have had these for a while, and see what solutions might be there for the businesses. Some of the things my hometown has done is we have validated parking. So you pay to go down and park unless you spend money at a business, in which case you get usually 2 hours free, which is more than enough time to go down. And it also encourages people to go down, have a nice time, and, well, we don't really want to pay for parking. It's the same cost to go in and get something, so we might as well spend that money at the business. Over time, there has been heavy signage put up on the side streets to show people, hey, this is what's down here, hey, this is where you need to go. Accessible parking on side streets to allow for people with mobility issues to still get into where they are. And so I do hope, as this conversation continues, the breadth of options for how to address these issues come up, and it's not just close it down altogether or don't close it down at all, but we look at a lot of those wider options. Thank you.
I'm Jay Bigelow, I'm at 20 Gardner Street, so 2 blocks away from Moody Street. Yeah, a lot of people are a lot more eloquent than me at saying why we should close it down to cars. That's my general view on it. Like High Street down to Pine Street, shut it down to cars, it's fine. There are ways of mitigating all the potential problems of doing that, you know. Allowing trucks through, sure. Commercial vehicles get through downtown Crossing in Boston all the time. There are ways of mitigating just about any problem you have, as long as the policy is permanent. This whole will they, won't they thing every year, I give it 6 months, maybe 8 months. That's what's making it so hard to mitigate all these problems. Make it a permanent policy so that someone can actually focus on each problem as they come up. That's it, because that's someone pointed out. This is what we're doing. So make a decision now so we can think about things next year.
It's like I feel like I'm at Franco's now. Hi, everyone. My name is Eamon Dawes. I live on the south side, 16A Orb Street. 3 years ago, we found something really special when we opened Moody Street. We created a place for community, a place that caught the attention and envy of our neighbors, our neighboring cities and towns. You know, pictures of Moody Street were used as an example of a high-class outdoor public space. This has been wildly popular, but there have been concerns. These concerns have solutions. We can mitigate the downsides, but nothing will change unless the plan changes. Because the plan for Moody Street, the current plan, was hastily put together back in 2020 in just a couple weeks, and it's been unchanged for nearly 3 seasons. We've made no real effort to improve Moody Street, so it's not surprising that we still have those same problems, and we're still having those same conversations several years down the line. Perhaps there's been no appetite for this change because this is seen as only temporary. But what you're hearing tonight, this energy shows that this can be permanent. It can be the future of Moody Street. We can improve signage to businesses. We can make it clear to drivers which spots in which parking lots are free and are available. We can improve sidewalks to make it easier and safer to get around. These are the changes that we need, but they will not happen overnight, and they will not happen unless there is an assurance that Moody Street pedestrianization will continue every year. I don't know if pedestrianizing Moody Street can work in the long term, but I want us to put in the effort and see if it can work out, because we shouldn't let a good idea go to waste. So Jonathan, for you, to bring up with the Traffic Commission, have a commitment that Moody Street is pedestrianized every year. Don't make us come into this room again next year. I don't want to do that, all right? We do the traffic signal timings at Pine Street and High Street. They don't change when Moody Street closes. And having a three-way intersection is very different than a four-way intersection. We can make traffic better if we have different signal timings. Okay? At the moment, I know there's been lots of talk about parking, but we don't charge parking after 6 p.m. And when there's no financial incentive to free up those spots in those lots, it becomes very hard for people at 6:30, at 7, at 7:30 to get a spot because none of those diners feel like they have to get out. So look into that. I would push it back to at least 8 p.m. Many visitors who drive will just avoid those lots and park on the side streets. So park on Chestnut, park on Walnut. Look into resident permanent parking. Make sure that those spots are for our neighbors and not for visitors who are coming. They can use the lots. All right. Add trash and recycling facilities, very importantly, that are managed by the city and that are maintained. Make sure we have people out there every day to empty those. We can add mobility ramps or sidewalks, and I'm out of time. We really need to improve the livability of the streetscape. We need more benches. We need more fun things to do for children. The city has to put in the resources because all we did is just put up Jersey barriers, and that doesn't not going to be enough. Thank you.
To get up and speak because everybody that spoke so far today is quite young. And 7 or 8 years ago, my husband and I downsized and we moved to Cronin's Landing. It is one of the best things both of us did in our lives. And last year I lost him. And I was able to go out on a Friday evening without him and walk up and down Moody Street when the weather was nice. I have not stopped going to the local stores. If I need something, I go to the local stores and buy it. I do not go elsewhere. And I think that people need to feel the sense of community. And I think, as I have seen some of the people who live at Cronin's Landing, for somebody who is 87, I don't have a walker, but a lot of people at 87 do. And it's so wonderful to see them being able to go out in the evening, go out to Crescent Street, and walk up and down Moody Street and feel like they're still young. I think the city needs to open. As to how long and how many months, whatever, I think it's really a selling point for all of us, not just young, but some of us who are in our later years in life.
I'm July. I'm neither young nor old. We moved to Waltham 15 years ago. Part of the reason why we moved to the south side is because everything is so walkable. Love to be able to walk to things. So all of the discussion around mobility and access and community and making things right for all of us, I like it. I like the data-driven investigations. We need to figure out how to make this work for everybody. I also agree that perhaps our city is leaving things till the last minute. I've been to more community meetings in the last 6 months than I would prefer. That's neither here nor there. The one thing that I haven't heard anyone say yet tonight is that having that outdoor dining space on Moody Street allows someone like me, who is aware that COVID is still an ongoing situation, it allows me to go out to dinner to the places that I love in the town where I live. My husband's family is from Los Angeles. His parents, his father just passed away. We've been out there a lot this year. And frankly, it's been wonderful to spend the winter months being able to go to restaurants. And I was looking forward to being able to do it again when I got back home. And so when I heard we weren't going to do that this year, I said, how much for that? So I would love to see us keep accessibility to those restaurants that are in the more crowded areas of our town so they can have outdoor seating, and those of us who want a little safety with our dinner can still find it. Thank you for putting this meeting together.
big supporter of opening it for pedestrians. Living so close, I've taken advantage of it. Like many people here, so much to go to businesses and restaurants and walk around with friends who come from out of town to come to Waltham to spend time here and be a part of our community. I think for all the things that COVID took from us, this is something that it gave to us, this ability to improve our community and to have this outdoor space that we can use and come together to hopefully help the business community, to help pedestrians and families. I see it as a wake-up call for us to look at permanent solutions. Like many people here, I've really appreciated being able, as a neighbor, to hear from businesses. These are issues that they're facing that I wasn't aware of. I think having this public forum is wonderful for me to hear the challenges that they're going through. And I think hearing from them and the issues they're facing is really hopeful, and that we can find ways to come together and improve their experiences. I think we're hearing that these past few years, the implementation has perhaps been fast and confusing, and it's caused these pain points, which is totally understandable. And I see that as a way to grow, not to move backward, and to, as other people have said, help the business community and also help, the neighborhood and the pedestrians who really enjoy that space. I would also love to see a permanent solution, whether that be just closing down for summers every year consistently, year-round. I would also support that as well. Whatever plan is proposed that people are supportive of, I will also support. I think change is really hard, and we're going to get some pain points, and we're going to struggle, but we're going to get through it by working with the community and the businesses to get these solutions in place. And I think when we do have a permanent solution in place, so hopefully open up Moody Street Marketplace, 5, 10 plus years down the line, we'll look back and think, how did we live before this? This is so wonderful, and I can't imagine not having this in Waltham. So, thank you.
So my name is Lizzie, and I live on Jennings Road, and I think it's really sad that we have to be here to have this discussion, because 3 years ago we shut down Moody Street to give a lifeline to restaurants. And it was this accidental discovery, and it was a boon to everybody. It made everybody feel good to go out, dine, and be normal. And it's still going on, and there are other cities that do it. Why can't we? We should not go back in time to how things used to be. I mean, there's definitely this mentality of old Waltham and keeping things how it was, safe and comfort. And this is now. To the woman who's from Brandeis, who's from New York, that's you? Okay, I'm from New York too, and we, right, woo-hoo! They have something by Grand Central. They have people who sweep up the litter, right? Unfortunately, it happens, it's just gonna be. But we can hire some folks as a job to sweep up the streets. I've seen it in London, I've seen it in Seattle, and my God, if Seattle can do what we should be doing. That's the one great thing I saw in that city. Dining out in the summer is a great experience. Sir, I promise you, when my Dyson breaks, I will walk it over to you. From the Highlands, I really will. I like supporting local businesses. I get it that it's hard, but it's not impossible. We should be able to find something for the person who wants to do it from June to August. Kind of like the Mother's Day to the end of September, because September is still warm. I mean, stuff is shifted. It is still, my air conditioning is still going in September. So I'd like to eat outside. We're tentative about eating inside restaurants, right? We're unfortunately, Seattle gave me COVID, so it's still out there. One of my employees in Montreal just told me today, he's got it. It's still out there. You can still get sick. Dining out in the summer is beautiful. You're not in a rush if you can just walk from, I'm going to pick at the top of the street, from Tempo down to Lizzie's and check out stores in between. It's great. We should continue to do it. Going back in time is just bad for the city. Please, Councilor Harris, I think it was you who brought this forward. Thank you for doing it. I mean, it's been a boon. And for those of you who talk about having cars, I know that Belmont does it one way, but I know that there's a restaurant on Main Street opposite the library, and we ate outside one night, and with the cars, okay, that's a little annoying, but the loud motorcycles, it's just not fun. And I'm done. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luke Haberman. I live at 35 Crescent Street, Garden's Landing. First, I want to thank Councilor Paz for hosting this. You are a gift to us all. Heather and I moved here in the summer last year, so we didn't know Waltham without a pedestrianized Moody. It was great. We loved it, and then the winter happened, and it's taken some adjustment. I work outside the city, so I know a thing or two about commuting in and out, and driving on Moody Street and Crescent Street when it's open and closed, and I can tell you with great certainty that opening up Moody Street to cars has not fixed traffic. If anything, it's just induced more demand. I'm stalling because my nose went black. But I love supporting local businesses. I love walking on Moody Street. You know, I bought from Bar Sam. Some of my favorite restaurants are near there. I get my haircut at Primos, and I love it. And I spend less time out there now than I did when it was open. A lot of people talked about how we need to have better infrastructure. And I think one of the areas that probably should get looked at is the scramble crossing at Moody and Crescent Street, because it's difficult to cross one way, let alone the whole way. And I'm an able-bodied 27-year-old male, so I hesitate to think about someone much older and less able-bodied trying to cross that in 10 seconds. Studies have shown that in other areas where pedestrianizing streets has happened, spending has gone up. It's a great boom. It's a great economic stimulus. I know we don't have the data from here, but I'm sure that would bear out. And it makes sense, right? Outdoor dining and pedestrians out in front of your shops is going to be way more profitable than a parking spot ever could be. And I think I know a lot of people have mentioned it, but I really feel like pedestrianizing Moody Street transforms Waltham from a place people drive through to a destination people come to. I think Moody Street makes a ton of sense. It's right near a transit hub for the commuter rail. And it's not just the commuter rail, tons of buses go there. It's a big transit stop, so if there's anywhere to invest, it makes a ton of sense. And I'm out of notes, so I'm going to start talking now.
Hello, my name is Jameson. I live at 87 Ash Street. I wasn't going to get up today, but you are all so inspirational that I felt like I had to. All of you had wonderful anecdotes and everything. It sounds great. And that should be it. The people seem to want this. So why is it a problem? Figure out how you need to work with businesses, do that, but almost every single resident up here today said that they want this opened for pedestrians. So I don't know why it's like a huge deal, I guess, right? Like, a city is its people want this, let's make it happen. That's all I got.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Councilor Paz and other councilors in attendance. My name is Carolina Lara. I am a Ward 5 resident, 43 Harvard Street. I wasn't going to speak up, but again, I love what Jamie said about finding compromises. But as a parent and a member of the Waltham community for over 15 years, I am in strong support of a planning process to make the Moody walkable. I really enjoy that. I think we need to build community spaces, and that is certainly a great downtown area for the community. Thinking, maybe businesses could have golf carts from the parking lot for people who are immobilized. It takes a little bit of creative thinking, but we should have a plan and a policy to make that assessment For the lady that spoke about making decisions based on data, I really just want to echo that. Data shouldn't just be dollars. We need to monetize air quality, pollution, well-being, sense of community. I don't know. Those things have a very high value in my position. So, thank you, everybody, and I love our community.
Well, thanks everyone for making it. I just want to say on my part, thanks for restoring my faith in humanity all over again. Every time we have community meetings and town halls, you come in expecting the worst, but honestly, Waltham is such a special place. People, even when they disagree, it's still kind of like a magical experience. Just to close on two things, I want to just reiterate, I do plan on making a proposal. I hope to make that public as soon as I can. And I do plan on sending it to the members of the Traffic Commission in advance so they can actually have time to review it. And I do want to say, just for the fact of saying this, good public policy comes from the ground up. It's not every day everyone here has the opportunity to really have input in a public process. So I just want to say that the type of leadership I want to provide, and maybe some of the councilors in the room want to provide, is where we walk together and we don't have to create tribes or do stuff behind the scenes. But my end point here is that the Traffic Commission is going to review this. They're not the only decision makers. We're waiting on guidance from the state, the ABCC. I'm not going to try to explain that, but there's more regulations that are on the way, and we just need to work together as a council with the mayor's office to really get anything done. And I really do want to just say that the onus is on us, hold us accountable, because there can be a great path forward here. It just takes willingness, I think, from the city's leadership. So I'll keep it nice and vague, and I will thank all of you again for making it. We heard that maybe there's an after party at Jocko's because there's Tequila Thursday or something like that. Or maybe at Tempo, if you guys love Tempo and are a little more upper class. But some of us are going to be going to Jocko's if you want to hang out. They totally didn't know that I was going to be making this pitch, but we try to keep it local. So once again, I want to thank the counselors who are here. I wanted to thank James, the quiet man in the room who's actually recording this. Can we give him a round of applause? And everyone else for help. Thank you. It takes a village, so thanks again for helping me make this happen. So have a good night, everyone. Thank you.